Good morning and happy Sunday to everybody. You are tuned into another edition of the Sunday Rise. Myself, I am the Boss B. We have the Midnight Rider. We have the Gentleman Jack. We have our special guest, Matty Ice. And we got the show's host, the big guy, KG. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
That was a very docile intro.
Well, I figured if we're going right into hockey, it has to be.
I got you.
Sunday Rise. What happened?
I know. We got a couple announcements here that's gonna rock the world. But nonetheless, good morning, gentlemen. How's everyone feeling?
I'm good.
Doing well.
Good. Big guy, take it over, baby.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Rise, presented by the Sideline Junkies in conjunction with Clear Productions. Won't jump right into this thing. Matty Ice, light the lamp. Let's drop the puck.
Yeah.
And take it away with the Matty.
It's unfortunate. I wish it was for something way better than this. You know, it's kind of a rest in peace moment for the Goudreau family, Johnny and Matthew, both professional hockey players. Matthew never quite made it to the NHL. He went to BC, went through the AHL, ECHL, never got a chance to play an NHL regular season game. He played a couple preseason games. Johnny Goudreau, aka Johnny Hockey, is how he's always known. One of those guys, just your typical pro, won a natty and BU, then went to Calgary where he was drafted. And the last two seasons had played in Columbus, where he had a 40-goal season once in Calgary. In Columbus, he hasn't quite been able to do that the last 2 years. I think that's more Columbus just is not a good team, and they've not really surrounded him with the talent that he had in Calgary more than Johnny's abilities. Johnny was not your typical NHL player by today's standards. Most of them today are 6 foot plus. They're big and strong, and Johnny was small and fast. And he has, remember a couple shows ago, you guys talking about in baseball with having those soft hands. It's equally important in hockey, and he had the softest hands, of a player of that size. And so, also never afraid to get to the dirty areas. But this is more than just hockey. This is two brothers that were killed while on their bikes. It's a senseless death. In this, they should still be here. There's no reason why they shouldn't be here. Am I allowed to get on a small soapbox about drunk driving now? Is that okay? All
That's
right.
fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
This, for lack of a better word, I'm sorry, asshole that killed these two was driving drunk. He had 5 or 6 beers. He comes up on 2 cars that were slowing because they saw the 2 bikes. He passes one illegally in a non-passing zone. And then the other guy, who is over on the left-hand side because he's giving room for the bikes like you're supposed to. So he thinks that he's purposely going to keep him from going around, and then goes back to the right over onto the shoulder where these guys were biking and plows into him at 60 miles an hour. They're pronounced dead on the scene. He admits to having 5 or 6 beers before this all happened. In his hearing on Thursday, this prick showed no remorse at all. He sighed when he found out that he was going to be in jail for 72 hours. It's just absolutely disgusting. And the fact that he's probably only going to get 10 to 20 years because our drunk driving laws are still so light in this country. And it just makes no sense to me when that, it's not like it was in the 90s. Like, there's Uber, there's Lyft, there's all these programs that people have, so you don't have to drive drunk. And and these and the worst part about this whole story is they were riding their bikes back from their sister's wedding rehearsal dinner, because the wedding was supposed to be on Friday, and those two were going to be groomsmen in the wedding. It's just absolutely brutal story, and brutal to have to talk about it. And I just really hope that maybe this will wake up this country a little bit about how lax some of our drunk driving laws are, especially when you kill somebody. It's just brutal.
You know what? And I know they do it on New Year's and certain St. Patrick's Day, but all the money that these municipalities and cities get from these red light tickets and cameras trying to make the city safer, They should have a program, maybe a certain time at night from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. If you feel like you're drunk and you can't drive home, we'll pay for an Uber home. We'll pay for a Lyft home. You know, now the crazy thing that probably still wouldn't have stopped this ass. So he still would have probably hopped in the car and did the same thing he did. But like Maddie said, we have to figure out. This country has to figure out something, man. Harsher penalties. I don't know what the answer is completely, but this is just it's a tragedy, man. And then when it first happened, and then you start learning about the rehearsal, the wedding,
Yeah.
everything. It's just like the weights just kept coming, and it's just like this is this. You couldn't write this story. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it leads into what I always tell my kids, because sideline of what I do now, I work auto insurance claims, and they're injury claims, and I unfortunately handle my share of fatality claims. And whenever I get one of these, I always send a note to my kids, just reminding them that I love them, and they know that I've gotten a bad claim when I did that, and I did that again on Thursday, because you never know when that time is going to come. And especially with cars, it can be a pure accident where it's just a moment of forgetfulness on a driver, and people can die. And this one is, of course, even 10 times worth with it being a drunk driver and totally unnecessary. But it can end at a moment's notice sometimes with these things. It's just so sad.
I want to say, I'm surprised. How do I say it? The way I watch people drive these days, I think seriously, and not to demean the situation, I think even if alcohol wasn't involved, I think this asshole would have done that exact same thing, just because he's in a hurry and he thinks somebody's impeding him from going where he's going to, or he's not getting there fast enough. There's so many times I'm on the road coming home, and there's somebody in the shoulder, and you're just watching them fly up the shoulder like it's an actual lane. I'm really, and I don't mean this to have any callous in what I'm saying. I just don't see how this doesn't happen more. Like, we don't have like somebody changing the tire on the side of the road and one of these idiots plow into them because they're impatient. Twice I've had situations where I've been like a hair from being either run off the road or just somebody tearing up the backside of my car because they're flying and doing something ridiculous. So I think there's a greater thing on just the nature of the way we drive these days. And then you add in the alcohol, and that makes it more paramount and more egregious.
Unfortunately, I think these things do happen often, more often than we know about.
Right.
And then, unfortunately, the way our country works is, and then nothing. Please don't take this anyway like a knock against the Goudreau brothers. They were known. Like me, if it happens to me, it might be a blip in the Washington Post,
Right.
third, fourth page or something. And it's just how things work. These brothers were known. Like Matty Ice said, he read off their accolades and stuff. And I think that's why a lot of states passed the move over law, because you have these troopers and these officers getting hit and killed, whether it's because the cars are too close, or these drunk drivers, they're pulling over a drunk driver, getting hit by a drunk driver, and then it's just like Midnight Rider said and Maddie said, it's so many situations where now you're watching people drive. Matter of fact, I know it was a viral clip of a VA state trooper. He had pulled over somebody on one side of the highway, and the BMW comes on the other side, lost control. And if he hadn't moved, he was dead. And it's like those type of situations, you could be minding your business, and something comes out of nowhere. I forgot was that this year or last year? The car fell off the overpass on 395.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like and like Maddie said, everybody knows. You just don't know when, and you gotta, you just gotta communicate, make sure that your loved ones know that you love them, and that nobody has any regrets if something does happen, that they can be like, you know what, it was unfortunate, but we had our time, and I don't know what else to say, man. It's just like because it's frustrating because you're just waiting for the next one to happen. And unfortunately, it's a sad reality.
And you gentlemen said something about, especially what B said. I know, Maddie, you see it, doing the insurance adjustments, you see it a lot more. At one point in time, I had grand jury duty, and you wouldn't believe the amount of drunk driving accidents that I had to cover. Like the one that always sticks out in my mind, it was two brothers. They had pulled over to the road because their car had broke down. They were drunk. This lady was coming down the highway. She was drunk too. She pulled over to help them. She pulled over in the lane to put her flashers on so nobody would hit them. And this other guy comes barreling down and smashes into both cars, killing all three of them.
Jesus.
And that always sticks out with me because I'm like, okay, the first three were drunk, but they were coherent enough to say, you know what, let me pull over and help. And this other guy, and they said they checked his black box, man. He was doing like 130 and never hit the brakes. And it's sad, man. It's just all sad. And then to think about these two brothers are supposed to be in their sister's wedding. And like they were getting ready to do the rehearsals and everything, get ready to be the groomsmen in her wedding. Like,
and guess what? That sister's probably has to live with for the rest of her life.
Yep.
She's probably going to say, if I didn't have the rehearsal at that time, it wouldn't have happened. And she has to live with that. It's so much chain reaction to this now. And it's just so sad to think about. She might burden the shoulder of what happened, and it's not her fault at all.
Matthew's wife was 4 months pregnant.
Yeah.
Pregnant was. She still is, but just senseless.
Yeah, sometimes it takes tragedy with big names to have change. Like B said, if this was me or Mookie down on 4th Street, you wouldn't be hearing as much about it as you would being, NHL stars. So let's hope that this can bring some further awareness to this, maybe some stiffer penalties for this. I mean, vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated, there's no excuse. I think they should be hit to the utmost extremes of the law. I really do.
And his reaction when he appeared in court, found out he was going to have to stay in there till Thursday.
Yeah,
killed 2 people. And I hope they put him. I hope they don't keep him in a holding cell, which I know they won't, because if you're in there for that long, they got to put you in a regular cell. I hope he got a cellmate, because it's a couple guys that's in there ain't seen a woman in a long time, and they ready to be transitioned over. And plus, most county jails, they separate depending on the crime. So he over there with the hardcore ones.
Yep.
He gonna make some friends. Try to lighten it up a little bit. Matty Ice, what you got with the baseball? We talked baseball the other night, and we were talking about the wild card race, and I tried to tell Gentleman Jack and the Midnight Rider that I believe it was Pittsburgh we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, like, if everything falls right and everything just goes just perfect.
There's a gleam, man. There's a gleam.
Look at him shaking his head.
Let's get the gleam.
Can Pittsburgh get that gleam?
Nope.
No.
They're toast. Yeah, I mean, before we even get into baseball, this is great getting ready for next Sunday, because we got 5 of us on the screen, so it's like when you're watching the Red Zone and you got 5 games going at once. I feel like this is good practice for that right now. We've got a good practice on here with
Of course.
Maddie, you got to train your eyes for that.
That's right. We're getting ready for those 5 games where 5 teams are in the red zone, and you're trying to see which one has your guys in fantasy that you want to score the touchdown on. So,
and then people don't understand the hand-eye coordination from biting a sandwich and looking at the number 2 window, number 3 window. It's a different movement each way around. And you can bite your finger easily. So you know what I'm saying?
Skill and practice.
You gotta practice.
So I guess what you want to talk some guards, I guess, on the baseball side. My four Guardians. So yeah, I mean, they're still in first place somehow. I mean, after losing 3 out of 4 to Kansas City, I wasn't sure that was going to happen. They righted the ship a little bit. We'll see. They play Pittsburgh today at 1:00. They're going up against Keller, and we got Alex Cobb in his 4th game since we signed him. So the bat, it's for Cleveland, it's about 3 bats. It's Quan, Jose, and Josh Naylor. Yep. When those 3 bat, they do well. Now there is this kid, Johanski Noel. If you guys have not seen some of his at bats this year, he's only played 60 games. The dude has 15 homers. He's becoming must-see at bats. He hit one Friday night that was 450 feet. The sound and the way it traveled, like he's right now, it's a short sample size, obviously, but the only player that has a higher per at bat batting average right now is one Aaron Judge. I'm really can't wait till next year to see him put this together over 162 games, because if he hits home runs at this pace, and I don't know if he'll be able to keep it up, but he's a big boy, and when he makes contact, it goes a long way, or it's a screamer. So he's going to be kind of interesting, but the whole key is just the starting pitching has been okay. I mean, they lost Bieber after 2 starts. Tristan McKenzie has been down in the minors because he lost his mojo and has not yet been able to find it. Logan Allen hasn't found it. They lived off of Ben Lively, who they picked up from the Reds, which is crazy. They did add Matthew Boyd, who no one else wanted to sign him after his Tommy John surgery. He's had 4 starts now. He's looked really good, and Tanner Bybee. But the key is for them is that they just have to have a lead getting into the 6th inning, where they've got 4 guys in the bullpen: Tim Herron, Cade Smith, and Hunter Gaddis. They all have under 2 ERAs, and then they get to Clase in the 9th. And Clase is putting together a Cy Young type season. He did give up a run on Friday night, but he had a 3-run lead, so it didn't matter. So now his ERA is up to a big whopping 0.72. Yes, that's correct, 0.72. He's had 27 consecutive saves. The man is just having a hell of a year. I think he should be the Cy Young, but it might be Skubal in Detroit just because he's a starter. But, to me, if your team makes the playoffs, that says something more than just a good starter with good numbers. But, they should get in. They're pretty far up in the wild card on Boston. I think they get in. And, you get in. It's just a question of, can their starters get them, and can they hit enough to have a lead in the 6th? And I think they're fine. But it's not quite the feeling that I had going into the All-Star break when we're 25 games over 500. It's been slow, but August was a brutal month for them. They had a tough schedule. It lightens up a little bit in September, and they've got a big series next weekend against KC, and then 2 weeks later against Minnesota. That'll probably go a long way for the division title, because Minnesota's getting healthy, and KC's kind of the other sweet little story of baseball. They lost over 100+ games last year, and here they are. Thinks they're riding Bobby Witt Jr. and others at the plate with Perez is having a rejuvenating season, and they're fun to watch, and they got their young pitchers are delivering, so it's going to be fun.
What he said.
Oh, go ahead, Ben.
No, I was going to say what he said. That's it.
Oh,
I couldn't say that any better. I mean, I think I would have changed a couple of lines, but that's it. That's exactly what I think.
I wanted to ask about Kansas City, because we talked about this, and Kansas City I think their over-under was like 71-72, and they've hit well over that. I mean, what is Kansas City?
Kansas City is 75-62.
And so they hit their over. Can they sustain it is the question.
Yeah. I mean, they've hit their honeycomb, so they're in the right spot. They're just playing, and Matty said it. It's Witt, it's Perez, and then they get sprinkles from everybody else, and that's kind of what's carried them all season.
Yeah, they have gone into Houston, where they have lost the first 3. They got one more game with them today, so they're hitting their own. But I mean, Houston seems to unfortunately be finding it again, which is annoying. I was kind of enjoying early in the year when they were losing, but here we are.
Houston gives me pause. I don't like facing Houston in the playoffs at all as a Yankee fan, because it's always, all right, we hot. We go into the playoffs, you face Houston, and then all of a sudden you win the first game, or you lose the first game, win the next two, and then Houston just blows you out the water after that because the trash cans are around and they start banging on them. And it's done. Houston gives me a problem. I fear Houston the way I used to fear Boston. But I knew Boston didn't have the steam to get passes, but you still respected them. Boston wasn't that great, but you still respect them. Houston, I don't know, something in the water or something.
Well,
no, you got the best drafted, one of the teams that draft the best, and they have a type. And by having a type, guys just come up and circle through the system, and you're cycling through good play after good play after good player. And that's all it is. Oh, by the way, thank you for Tanner, Maddie. I appreciate that. Little third baseman. You got Lane. We got Tanner. When he hits him, he cranks it. So, yeah.
I told you he was going to be a player for you guys that I thought would, because the whole problem with him with Cleveland was he wasn't ever going to get at bats because he's a natural third baseman. Obviously, Jose's here, and he just wasn't going to be able to get the at bats like he could. And Lane Thomas has been a bit of a struggle. I think some of that's on the organization because they're playing him way too much against righties. Right. They seem to now realize that, okay, he's fine against the lefties. He does okay, and his fielding is great. And, but I think they're finally realizing, maybe we just got to make him more of a platoon than trying to play him every day. So I'm hoping that they start utilizing him better. And he was pressing a lot too. You could just tell the dude was trying to make an impact. And sometimes that happens when you join a team. You're trying so hard to be a part of it and help. And I think he's finally starting to relax a bit better. He's had some better at-bats lately. His defense is great. Like he ran down one in center field the other night. That was just, I couldn't believe he got to it. And, so I'm hopeful. But yeah, Tanya's going to be good for you guys. I think he's getting at-bats. So I'm happy for him that he's doing well there.
Yeah, he's been part of a little renaissance for the Nats. Him, Chapara, Yepez, some of the guys they brought up or picked up late, they're starting to make an impact. And then I think we're starting to get the kid that we got from KC. I think he's on the IL. So we're probably going to see him in spring training. But we got a nice little run going. We're going to be okay.
I think so. I think they've got I think the Nats have a good, solid foundation. They definitely need to add a bat or two, and I think that starting pitching could be scary good next year. They got some guys that can throw the ball.
I think they got to transition one of those young arms to a bullpen guy.
Yeah.
Make him like a 7th or 8th guy. And I think they'll be fine. Like a kid like Cavalli, who struggled to be healthy, but he's gotten electric stuff. Jackson, what's Jackson's last name? Can't think of his last name now, but the big kid they got from Georgia, 6'8", he's a starter, and he's another guy I think should be in the pen, just because you just need arms at a certain point. And the way baseball is going, they did take away the specialist by making relievers face 3 pitches, but I think the way these guys have electric stuff, you throw a guy that's throwing 100 or 99 plus for one inning, I mean, it's gonna be hard for teams to hit. That's why we have this drop in batting averages right now.
Yep. Well, that's what worked with Cleveland. They did that with Gaddis. He struggled as a starter because he could get through the order one time and then they pick up on it. But now they got him in the 8th inning. They're like, you just throw hard for an inning, and he's crushing it. It can definitely work. You got a guy, because I think every team's got those guys that you can only get through the lineup maybe one time, and then you're starting to be like, and you definitely don't want them going that 3rd time through. So those are the type of guys that can make good relievers when they got that nasty stuff.
Totally agree.
All right, we gotta jump to the next topic. Matty Ice, you staying with us?
Yeah, I'll probably go ahead. I'll head out here now before you start the next topic, so I don't have to bolt in the middle of the topic. And if I have time, I'll throw some stuff in the chat, but I don't want to bolt on you mid-topic, so I'll go ahead and head out now.
All right, Matty, we appreciate it, man.
Yep. See you guys. Thanks for the time.
Hi, Matty.
Thank you, brother. And that was Matty Ice. pretty much the utility man, Mr. Baseball, Mr. Hockey, you know, a little bit of everything around here. Now we're gonna jump into this NFL preview, and over on Instagram, Goddess Telly said, "Oh, sports, hey, hello." She said, "Hey, my strong men."
Goddess Telly.
Hello.
Fellas, the NFL season kicks off on Thursday. So let's start. Let's start with the AFC East. Let's get that out of the way because
next division.
We're gonna do division winners. We're gonna do picks for the division because we do it every year. Picks for the division, and you know who you think is your surprise team. So let's start with the AFC East. You have Miami, Buffalo, Miami, Buffalo. Geez, I'm drawing a blank. New England
and the Jets.
Now, Buffalo has been.
Go ahead and throw the Colts in there.
I was about to. God, I was about to. Don't judge me, man. I was definitely about.
Bad thing is he wouldn't even have said the Indianapolis Colts. He just said the Baltimore Colts.
Baltimore Colts, and not skipped the beat and kept going. Johnny Unitas this season.
Hey, don't stop me, man.
Best quarterback ever.
He is.
Not.
Let's not do it. All right, you got the Patriots, new coach in Gerard Mayo, no more Belichick. The Dolphins trying to come back. It seemed like the Dolphins can't win late in the season. The Jets are just the Jets. They seem like they're dysfunctional anyway. The Jets haven't been relevant since Sanchez and company and Rex Ryan. Are the Bills still the favorite to win this division?
I think so. I think here's the thing. I think Miami has the advantage because they're bringing back the same nucleus, so to speak. So I think they're going to get a start ahead of Buffalo, ahead of the Jets. So the unique thing about the Jets and Buffalo, they still don't have too much live ammunition with Aaron Rodgers. He went down the first series last year. So they still got to get into in-game timing. And that's going to take them a couple weeks. Buffalo, you got a new nucleus of receivers rolling out, which I don't think is going to be a problem for Josh Allen. He's still got some familiars in Kincaid, Knox, Shakir. And he got some new toys to play with. And you got James Cook back there still. I think that's going to take them a couple of weeks to fill each other out, live game bullets, and then kind of get on the road. And here's my serious snapshot of the division. I think Miami wins the division, and I think Buffalo is second. I think Buffalo starts to come on late after they kind of gel and get themselves together. They're missing Matt Milano, of course, so that's another piece of the defense. And now you got the first year where your safeties aren't Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. So it's a lot going on there, and they're going to have to figure out. But I just think that when you got somebody like Josh Allen, you're always in the game. And they went through a process last year where, and, you know, like I said, a lot of those guys aren't there. And I can only speak for Buffalo, but they had to learn how to win a lot of games a lot of different ways. And that experience goes to the coaching staff where now you're making decisions quicker, or you've already been through this situation. And now instead of planning the next two plays, you have a couple of series planned out because you've been through this situation and you kind of see it formulating. And those are some of the things that Sean McDermott hasn't been through. I think people forget that this is his first head coaching gig. And every year they've had they had the tragedy, the shooting in Buffalo. They had, that was his first time dealing with that. They had the Damar Hamlin situation. That was draining. You have the ongoing thing with Stephon Diggs. These are all new things to him. Whereas a guy like Andy Reid and, I'm drawing a blank on the coaches. They've been through these situations. They kind of know how to they kind of know what to let the fire burn and still function where nothing else in the house is catching on fire. So I'm gonna take Miami to win the division. And Buffalo would be a strong second. I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo wins, but I'm gonna give it to Miami just because they have their team coming back from last year and they can get out the gate and jump. But like the big guy KG said, we'll see if Miami can. Their problem is after week 8, they put it on cruise control, and then Buffalo starts stampeding. And now the X factor is the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. If they get hot and Aaron gets hot, now you have the old black and blue division, a hybrid version, because all these teams are passing, but they're still going to beat each other up. And then you got to see how Gerard Mayo, how he's going to fill the New England team, because that's not a Bill Belichick squad, even though I think he takes a lot of the traits from Bill, but he's not Bill. So you have another coach that has to learn his situations and awareness and when to call the timeouts and when to do this. And so he's got a learning curve too, and I think that's going to put him behind. But I think they're going to be a formidable foe, and I wouldn't be surprised if they knock a couple of the AFC East teams off.
Jack?
Yeah, I see the AFC East exactly the way my Buffalo friend here, my Buffalo fan friend, sees it. Miami, I think, is going to take the division. Buffalo going to get that wild card, and the Jets are going to go as far as A-Rod takes them. Like I said, they do got a killer defense, as Boone mentioned in the comments, and I'm aware of that. So watch out for them Jets. They could be a surprise.
Midnight Rider?
I'm going to say one name is Jalen Wright, running back out of Tennessee, plays for the Dolphins. He's probably going to be somebody's waiver wire pickup. I think he is the guy that's going to help that team because he fits their identity. He's a fast guy, probably one of the fastest running backs in this past draft that we had. I think Miami does take the division. I think they find the formula to finish through December. And some of that's going to be on their elite runners. If you have Mostert, Jalen Wright, and A-Chain, I mean, you got 3 legs of a 4x100. And they're probably elite. You add in Tyreek Hill, and then you add in Waddle. I mean, this is one of the fastest offenses in all of the NFL. Mm-hmm. And I think they're going to make you feel, if they spread the field and make you feel their speed, I think that's where they win. I think they have to figure out the puzzle to win ball games late in December when the weather gets a little cold. You don't have the advantage of having that humidity on your side in Miami. Then you're in Buffalo somewhere playing cold weather. And that's another thing I want to talk about later on is the cold weather. Because I don't think that game should have been played, that Kansas City-Miami game. I think that should have been postponed or something. But that's another topic in another day. That's how I feel about the whole thing.
I think a lot of this is going to be on Tua also. Tua has to take the next step. Tua is, I believe he's holding that offense back. If that offense had Pat Mahomes, it'd damn near be unstoppable. Or, somebody else. I just think they got the track speed. They got, and I think Mike McDaniel does a great job of getting those the backs out in open space so they can make their move and their cut and get gone, right? But I think what holds this offense back from being explosive is I'm not really respecting Tua's deep ball. And for Tyreek and Waddle, that's like the Mortal Kombat finishing move for this Miami offense that they don't have. They got a basic finishing move. They don't have the over-top finishing move, and it's because of Tua's arm. And that's something Mike McDaniel has to kind of, set some things up. But the crazy thing is the backs are so dangerous, and you have to respect and get your holes. Just a hesitation on the linebackers and the safeties, and Hill and Waddle is gone. And at that point, you just got to toss the ball up. But I think Buffalo plays them very well defensively because they see them a lot. But, as long as you keep certain things in front of you with this team, and Tua has to beat you, I think that's where they falter at.
I'm on number one. I'm still shocked at what the Midnight Rider just said. So another show, another time. I'm about that game shouldn't have been played. If you scared, say you scared.
It's not about being scared. It's about the product.
If you scared, go to church.
It's not. This isn't 1980 whatever. We don't have to play games in the cold weather where it diminishes the return of the game, the quality of the game.
No,
but this is okay because I'll be watching
as scheduled.
You'll be watching on pay-per-view soon, so don't worry about it.
And if they decide to cancel a game because of weather, if it's not lightning,
dude, it's
but you want to cancel because it's too cold, you're pussifying the game.
No, you're not.
But the thing is, if they're gonna do that, then they have to cancel them high ass humidity games where the other team's about to pass out. And I know this from experience because Buffalo go down to Miami, that first game in Miami, can't nobody breathe. You know, people about to pass out. It ain't enough Gatorade to go around for nothing. You're sitting in the sun. And that they have to, you can't do one end. Oh, it's so cold. And it got to be so hot too.
No. There's a difference. You can have heat exhaustion, but you got people losing fingers and toes from hypothermia in some of these in that game, that situation.
Then I guess you better invest in a heated bench and portable heaters.
Ain't nobody.
The game has been played.
There were several cases where fans had to be taken to the hospital after that ball game because they suffered from hypothermia.
Who told? Did they put a gun to your head and tell you to come?
Christ! All right, no, let's go. Let's go.
They probably
next division.
No.
Good.
They probably showed up to the game half naked, you know, drinking beer the whole time, no clothes on. That's why they got cold. No, you play the game as it's scheduled, man. All these weather postponements, that's weak, man. Unless it's lightning.
Let's keep the party going.
I had to get mine.
Next up is AFC North. You got the Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Steelers, which is truly a black and blue division. Ravens won it. Oh, and I picked Buffalo to win the AFC East.
That's 3 Miamis and a Buffalo.
Well, 4 Miamis and a Buffalo. Matter of fact, I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot to get to the comments here. Matty Ice said, I think Miami wins it. Buffalo gets a wild card.
Okay.
Antonio said, if AR stays healthy, they can get that division. I think people sleep on the Jets defense. We've seen Miami, what Miami has, and Tua has reached his ceiling.
Totally agree.
If you listen to this podcast, we have not slept on the Jets defense. We know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, rocking with the AFC North, you got the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, and Steelers. Steelers got a new quarterback in Russell Wilson, and also what did I say wrong?
You said quarterback, and you said Russell Wilson, and you said it in the same sentence.
The Steelers.
No, you said Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Then you used the term quarterback, and you used it both in the same sentence.
He being a smart ass.
Should I say quarterback? I mean. Leave Russ alone, man.
Just say person that takes the snaps on the Steelers offense.
Yeah.
Okay, person that takes a snap in the offense in the Steelers offense, in Russell Wilson. The Browns are the Browns, but they bring in Deshaun Watson back, and he's restructured his contract. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and company. Then the Ravens have the reigning MVP in Lamar Jackson. Antonio already said Bengals win this division. Let's start it up.
Can I call it Omaha?
Okay, what you got?
I'm gonna see what Boone's doing, but go ahead and start talking division. Take me last.
All right, Jack, BJ.
AFC North. I think the Bengals gonna run away with it. And I think the Browns with Deshaun Watson. We haven't seen a whole season of that. He was injury reserve a little bit last season. A full season with Watson, And that Browns defense, I think they can pull up second place in the North. I think the Ravens going to have a down season. I don't know whether it's going to be injuries or what, but they've been hounding their horse for quite a few years now. I think it's going to be a little dip for Baltimore, and they might scrape to make playoffs. It's going to be Cincinnati, Cleveland in the North, AFC North for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, give me the regular season champs, the Baltimore Ravens, to take this division. I think it's going to be a close race between them and the Bengals. The Bengals also have Joe Burrow coming back off an injury and having to get that rhythm and that mode. Is Jamar Chase even – did they get him situated?
Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
So he still might not be on the field.
Right.
So, okay.
Well, they'll probably figure it out this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
There's
so.
some things that happen.
So that's a possibility. It's a small possibility. I think – Like, don't get me wrong; those guys are familiar, but you got to get Joe Burrow back up to game speed. Like we're talking about these divisions. We're not talking about a team that's with the AFC East and North. You got 3 possible teams. One game makes a difference, and that could be Baltimore getting an early beat on Cincinnati, handling the rest of the division. Cincinnati could beat them late, but they got the better division record. And it takes them. And I think that's what it's going to be. I think you're going to get Lamar Jackson doing Lamar Jackson things in the regular season. I think he's going to will them to a NFC North title. I am not picking the Browns anymore for anything. We started this podcast. We've been picking the Browns since 2017. The Browns are going to have to prove it to me on the season that they can put something together that means something. Talked about the Bengals. I said Ravens, Bengals, Pittsburgh. I give Pittsburgh third and the Browns last. I know the circus show that is Pittsburgh. I think they get that together enough because Russ is still Russ. Russ is in there somewhere. And last year, they needed a competent quarterback. That team would have probably been in the AFC Championship. All right, because they should have beat Buffalo in the first round if they had a competent quarterback. They were in that game because of T.J. Watt. You have that defense coming back. If Russ can just get going, you still got a couple receivers in Pittsburgh.
You said Russ. That's funny.
Yeah, if Russ can get it going and he don't have to be the Russ he was in Seattle, but if he can make some plays and move some stuff with his feet, you might be talking about Pittsburgh fighting for a wild card. Don't sleep on Pittsburgh. I'm telling you, the Browns, throw them in the trash.
And I guess I'd have to break out the Lee Corso and say not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast.
Not so fast. Because I think actually the Browns get it together. I mean, this division, first and foremost, has some of the best defenses that you can put together. Whether it's the Browns with Myles Garrett and company and that secondary, the JOK playing linebacker safety. You got the Ravens just doing Raven things. And the standard is the standard with the Ravens. Same thing with Pittsburgh. It's just they just do this defense thing better than everybody else. The Bengals the only team that really don't have a defense that's elite, but they are good. They're very good. Trey Hendrickson and company, those guys, they scheme you up. They do everything. I hate picking this division, but I'm going to go out on a limb. I might be massaging my point a little bit, but I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson having the bounce back year, and I'm going to take the Browns to win the division.
Woo.
Okay, but just don't sit here and massage your point no more, please.
It was a reference to him getting massaged. Come on, man.
I know what it was. I just don't want you massaging your point. Leave your point alone while you on camera.
Don't touch it.
Jesus, I got Baltimore winning this because it's just Baltimore doing Baltimore things. I really don't have. I don't know what the Bengals are going to bring. I don't know what they're going to bring to the table. I'm not sold on the Steelers for once in my life, and the Browns. I'm not 100% sold on them as well. The Ravens seem like the only team that is complete in this division. That's just my opinion.
If you guys
Moving
need
over to
something
the
to watch on
AFC.
TV, Colorado State versus Texas is on right now. So if you want to see the best quarterback in college football, or I think I had him second best, but you'll see the list on Tuesday. Actually, I'm gonna send the list. I'm gonna send the list in via carrier pigeon because I know I'm not gonna be on camera. So the carrier pigeon is gonna be on its way to KG's house with a new top 5. It's gonna be some people moved around. It's gonna be some things happening. If I can't get a carrier pigeon, because KG like he old school, I'm gonna get Pony Express. I'm gonna have some guy on the back of a pony riding, not genuine, taking this list to your house.
I hope that list gets lost.
Ah,
That pigeon gonna get shot by a BB gun.
no,
You can
my
get Mike
goodness.
Tyson.
We don't condone hurting animals on this show.
It's too late now.
Ass off.
The AFC South, you got the
Before we
Texans, the
move on to
Colts,
the
the
before we
Jaguars.
move on to the AFC South, because I got to get out of here. There's the other announcement that had to be made on the Sunday Rise. This will be my last Sunday Rise for the football season because of my work schedule is changing, unfortunately. But I will find a way to make some videos, some Buffalo videos, some videos in general that can be uploaded, and y'all can still see my face on Sundays. So I'll try to find a way to be a part of it, however I can, if I get a break or whatever, and try to jump on. But guys, it has been a pleasure. I'm gonna see y'all Tuesdays and Thursdays, starting not this week, coming the following week, starting after the 8th. So I'll be on Tuesdays.
Are you
and
available
Thursdays.
Tuesday?
Yeah, I'll be on Tuesdays.
All right. So then, I'm talking about this week.
Not starting this week, starting the following week.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
starting the
that's
following
good.
week.
I'll take care of your collection plate and we'll get it filled up.
Yeah, absolutely. Please take care of that collection plate. Please make sure that get passed around. Turn the heat up. Make the waters warm. You gotta make them uncomfortable. Get that money out of their pocket, okay? So, fellas, I gotta run. I gotta get ready for work. I'll send the rest of my picks in for the other divisions. And when are we doing our fantasy draft?
That is tomorrow at 8 p.m. and we will be live on air from the most powerful city in the world.
10-4.
I
Fellas?
gotta turn my camera off because if we starting at
All right,
8, whoo, it's gonna
All
be
right,
like
y'all.
this gonna be Sunday Night
right,
WrestleMania version of me.
The Midnight Rider like to be in the corner. All right, we got the AFC South. You got the
I'm
Texans,
glad
the
you
Colts.
said that the way you said that because when you started, I was like, oh, this ain't gonna be good.
Well, you like to be in the corner.
Where are you getting AFC South?
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, AFC South. Yeah, because we just did the North.
West, and North.
Then you forgot the South. It's for the
Oh, there's the South. I did forget the South. Bingo. Okay. Not much to remember,
The Texans, the
Only one
Colts,
team
the
in the
Jaguars, and the Titans. Like Jack said, it's not much to remember, but outside of the Texans, because there was somebody on this show that was harping on the Texans really hard, and it all clicked. The next thing you know, the Texans were in the playoffs.
I don't even know who you're talking about, Doug. I don't even know.
So I'll start with you, Jack. Go to the Midnight Rider. Who you got winning this AFC South?
I don't see anyone giving the Texans any go. I think Houston definitely gonna repeat as the AFC South champions.
I
Man,
thought you froze for a second.
yeah, I am froze looking at the other 3 teams. I mean, you got the Colts, the Jaguars, the Titans, Colts. I don't see nothing. I'm gonna put the Jaguars at second with long hair QB Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor's gonna be all right this year. Have NTN back there in the backfield healthy with help. I think it's going to be the Texans and the Jaguars in second.
I get my dream. I get to figure out. I get to see if this thing can be a thing. And there's a thing. Where's that? Can we get Marty real quick? Because Marty and I it's the Indianapolis Colts for me. There's a gleam, man. There's a gleam. And I see the face from Jack Carr.
There's a gleam, man.
Indianapolis has
There's
the
a
two
gleam.
most dynamic players in this division.
Let's get the gleam.
Just because it's the first year they got the same quarterback they had last year in 20 years, they're going to be a squad, dude. Was it Minshew?
I don't think he started the first game this year, but here's what I'm saying. You get Anthony Richardson, his 4 speed, whatever it is. You getting Jonathan Taylor healthy for the first time to start the season, and you're getting them at the mesh point, which is called when you're running that read option. I think this team could be special. I still think they finished second in the division. I think Jacksonville finishes third, and I'm going with Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, Stroud. I'm going with the Texans. Daniil Hunter. I think the Texans defense is going to be so much better than it was last year that they're going to win games that people wouldn't expect because of the level of the defense and the pressure they're going to put on the quarterbacks. But I think Indianapolis is going to be second, and I think Indianapolis makes the playoffs in this division because of the dynamics of that offense. You can shake your head all you want, baby. Shake it, but don't break it. Took your mama 9 months to make it.
The Colts. Okay. Don't put no money on that one.
I probably will.
No, you said
I'm a DJ.
Just give it to me. I'll take it from you. You know.
No, because I can't win nothing extra by giving it to you.
That's all. But you're not gonna win anyway, so you might as well.
Hey,
give it to me.
I gotta take my chances.
Give it to me, and I'll give you half back after they lose. So.
Nah, Jack, I'm good. I don't need no money back.
You good?
So you talking?
See, Jack, I keep telling you, I don't take the check down. You know what I'm saying? I got a problem. You know, anybody that ever played any kind of like flag ball, they know that backing me in the back out the backfield all he want. Be in the flats all he want. Midnight Rider ain't gonna see.
The Colts.
So
I got bad vision from 10 yards to the line of scrimmage. 10
You
yards
saying
out
the Colts
I
gonna
don't,
win
I
it?
don't see it well. I'm telling you, the Colts, this offense, with that
You got
line,
this-
as long as that offensive line plays well, and the young linebackers they got, give me the Colts.
You got this written down, KG?
yeah, I'm writing it down. So
Circle that one.
you took Indianapolis.
No. So the division winner, Houston.
Okay.
The Colts are finishing second.
Okay.
I thought you said
So we
Colts
got-
first.
No,
So I got-
because you missed the whole Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, CJ Stroud. Because when I look at CJ Stroud, for me, if I had to do a top 5 NFL quarterbacks, I think he might be my 5th. I watched him on a video with Micah Parsons, and they were picking Parsons picked his best 11 on defense. He picked his best 11 on offense. And when they were talking, he was like, "So what you in?" He was like, and Parsons was like, "Dom." He's like, "Oh, you gonna play us in Dom?" And he started picking out his wide receivers and everything. It's the way he talks football that makes me high on him. Like if he talks football the way he plays it, yeah, we good. We good in Houston.
Well, I'm taking Houston too because I mean that's the favorite. I mean, but it's smart money. So, last up in the AFC is the AFC West. You have the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Chargers. Whew.
Man, I wish we were playing this division this year.
Huh?
I said, I wish we were playing this division this year.
Yeah.
This is the best time to catch this division.
Broncos have a new quarterback, rookie Bo Nix.
Who?
You know the guy, Bo Nix.
My guy.
Looks like Drew Brees.
Oh, so you're telling me that Bo Nix is the starting quarterback for the Broncos?
You knew
Yeah.
that.
Jack Carr, why you say this so bitterly?
Because it's my guy.
Your guy.
My guy.
Okay.
You just jumped on the bandwagon.
KG, help your man out.
You go back to the tapes, man. You see I said this in the draft.
KG,
Draft show.
KG.
Draft
Bo
night,
Nix.
he said he called it right before they picked him. When the Broncos came up, he said Bo Nix will be good here because Bo Nix is the closest you'll get to Drew Brees for Sean Payton.
Definitely.
And right after he got that statement out, the pick came in and he said, "It's Bo Nix, I know," and that's who it was. And Bo Nix was on the list almost every season.
He was the last week.
Okay.
I don't like Oregon quarterbacks, but he did make it the last week of the season. I think he finished 4th on the list. This year's this upcoming list, the one that's going to be on the Pony Express on the back of the pigeon. Whew, we got some fireballs.
The Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes returning. No Kadarius Toney though. No Rashee Rice because he is on the commissioner's list, which is kind of odd. Like he's not suspended, but he just can't play. Dude was driving 110, 115 and caused the accident that hurt people, and you can still collect the check.
They're trying to figure out what they want to do with him. That's all that is.
But we don't condone gambling though. But anyway, never mind. Don't get me started on the NFL as a business because it's a great business model, but terrible people running it. Bring back Paul Tagliabue. Anyway, you have the Oakland.
Would mess this up. You got the perfect guy running it. You got the greatest villain. It's the devil and it's Roger Goodell. Two of the greatest villains that ever lived. And what they say, what's that line in that movie? The greatest trick the devil ever played is making you think he didn't exist. That's Roger Goodell. I'm sorry.
Judge, jury, and execution of my ass. Anyway, you have the Los Angeles. Nope. The Oakland. Nope. The Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas.
They did let Nathan Peterman go. Who is their starting quarterback now?
Oh, you don't know?
Gardner Minshew.
Here we go, baby. Minshew Mayhem, baby.
They named Uncle Rico the starter. Okay. And then you have
we're not gonna have no Minshew slander because
you know
there's one guy in this room. There's one person in this world.
But it wasn't slander. It was funny.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
If there's one person in this room,
Come down.
The Minshew maniac.
You got the Las Vegas Chargers. I mean, the Las Vegas. You got the LA Chargers, who has Justin Herbert. Jack, who went in the West?
Kansas City.
Here I
Did I say Kansas City?
You sound like you see that song, Tennessee. The way you say Kansas City.
Kansas City. But I tell you what, you're gonna see. I think we're gonna see a run from Denver, man. Bo Nix, as Midnight Rider said, perfect fit for Sean Payton. I mean, Bo Nix, a coach's kid. I mean, come up through Auburn. And when he was youngin', he said, I'm going to play for the Auburn Tigers. And that was his dream. But now, NIL and transfer portal, ain't nobody staying nowhere. But I think Denver going to come up second and fight for a wild card spot. Wow. So let's see a good rookie season out of Bo Nix is what I'm expecting.
I like to hear that. Midnight Rap?
Well, since we're talking about the West, let me get my spectacles back on. It's very simple. It's Kansas City. I don't even know why we were wasting our time doing this division, but it's Kansas City all the way through. I think the Chargers make a run and a push to get playoff eligible, but I think they might be, depending on their schedule, And depending on the way the AFC North plays out, actually the AFC East plays out, they may be a wild card, they may not. So that's gonna be interesting in that regard. But I like Kansas City. I think Oakland, that emotional run is good, but their problem is I just don't think the Muscle Hamster 2.0 is good enough. Zahir White, the running back they have, I don't think he's good enough to make them dominant or make them a thing. But they do have Christian Wilkins and Matt Crosby on the same side, so it makes me take a pause and think about it. But I think they'll be around. They may be on that, you know how where we get to the end of the year where you got teams that are in the hunt. I think Vegas will be in the hunt. I just don't think Vegas has enough to be the wild card.
I don't have I ain't got a horse in the race, but I got Kansas City. So I mean, Kansas City has won the division how many years in a row?
I mean, that's what Andy Reid does.
Yeah. Now, moving over to the NFC.
NFC.
Let's run this. Let's do the NFC East first. Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Commanders. Cowboys just got CeeDee Lamb locked up. Dak is in the last year his contract. Daniel Jones, starting quarterback with the Giants. They're looking for a breakout season from him. The Eagles picked up a couple of weapons in Saquon, and now they have Jahan Dotson to go with A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. The Commanders, new look, new coach, new regime, new ownership, new front office. It's just all a newness. Even a new name for the stadium, new hotness.
New quarterback.
New everything. You know, this team looks way different than it did last year. So,
Hey, KG, real quick, because you talking Commanders, you talking a lot of newness. What I tell you, when we ended the season last year, I said the first thing they got to do. What'd I say? You remember?
Oh, rip up everything and change out everything in Redskin Park and get all the old stuff out.
If it ain't nailed down, if it is nailed down, we pulling the nails out. We gonna do everything from the Rudy to the Tootie and build this thing up brand new. And they've gone. And I don't know if you saw the Commanders Log 3 where they showed you the insight where they went into the building and they gutted out and changed some of the locker rooms. They changed or upgraded the meeting rooms. They upgraded the chairs. They changed the paint on the walls. They did everything, and that was everything I was asking for. Because you gotta like there's a stench, and the stench that is in that building, you couldn't like. It's like Duval Paul's situation, where you got the bees in the walls. Well, this team these guys couldn't take over this team and come into this off season and let the bees stay in the wall. They had to take the walls out. You know what I'm saying? They had to break it down. Get us to a whole different place. Get us to a whole different space. Because it was so toxic that you had to just get the toxin out. They probably burnt sage. I'm guaranteeing you that Dan Quinn walked through the halls and had sage burning in his hand and was just yeah. We had to get the demons out, man. But Jack, I'm gonna let you start with your pick for the NFC East.
Yes, Washington definitely has new regime, all new blood. I like what they're doing, cutting the ties, but NFC East, Giants not to be worried about. I repeat. Now, Dallas, I don't know, man. People getting paid, people not getting paid. People getting paid a lot, people not getting paid a lot. I think Dallas, man, I don't know if they're going to gel or I feel Dallas stumbling. And it's not just because I'm a Washington fan. I feel Dallas stumbling this year. Philly's going to win the NFC East. And Washington's going to get a wild card. I'm going with that. I ain't said nothing like that in years. Yes, sir. I ain't said nothing like that in years, but like Ben says, man, with all the in with the new, man, I'm starting to feel this new. It's a different new than we've had in past news. You know,
Limousine ride.
Gruden comes in, oh, it's new. You know,
Yes,
all these
that's
coaches
right.
we've had, but now I kind of feel it. I kind of feel it in Washington. It feels different. The atmosphere feels different. The juju feels different around this Washington program. So I'm gonna pick Washington for a wild card out of the NFC East.
Okay.
So who you got winning it?
Philly.
All right, Philly wins. Midnight Rider.
Yeah.
I have to agree with the gentleman. Hold on. I'm sorry. Pardon me, but I have to agree with the gentleman Jack. And the
Really?
fact that I think the Philadelphia Eagles will win this division because they just have the best talent. They're one of the best teams in the division. And the fact that Jahan Dotson gets to be there 3, KG, you know me. Jack just getting to know some of my cliches and some of my statements. But I feel like Jahan Dotson for the Commanders is an addition by subtraction. But I think by him going to the Eagles, he can find that space because I think for him, this becomes make it or break it. I think if he can't make it in Philly, then he might as well go ahead and try to figure out like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Like he might as well go ahead and start selling that.
With a hot tub.
Yeah, something. But yeah, I think Dallas has enough because of CD Lamb that they become a wild card. And I think the Commanders finish on the outside looking in. But again, when we get to that point in the season, I think we'll be one of those teams in the hunt. But I just think we'll struggle early, and that's going to hurt us at the end of the season. Like I think we're coming out of our first 5 at like 2-3. But if we came out of the first 5 at like 3-2, we'd be in the playoffs. But I think we're going to be 2-3, and the rest of the games are going to just play out the right way, and we'll be competitive. And that's where we get to our 7, maybe 8 wins. But I don't think we get to 9 or 10.
So you got Philly. You know, I want to ignore Philly, but I think Philly will take. No, you can't, because right now Philly is good. They're real good, and I gotta give them their propers. I'll say it. Philly is really, really good, and they will win this division outright. Couple of comments. Eagles, my Commanders will get in the playoffs.
There you go, Boone.
We gotta get Boone a nickname.
I'm a Cowboy fan, but we're gonna suck this year. And I agree with Jack Carr. Philly wins the division. Redskins get the wild card.
Buckeye Boone. That's what we're gonna call him.
Buckeye Boone. I like that.
All right, moving over to the north because we gotta run through these. All right, moving over to the north.
Can we do a second? Like, can we do an add-on?
What do you mean?
Like, let's stop it here and just start a new show, and that way we can send show 1, like do it in part 1 and part 2.
Only problem is I don't have the time.
Okay, never mind. So let's go.
I don't have. We can either run through it or we can pick it back up on Tuesday.
No, let's run through it because I ain't gonna be here Tuesday. So let's go.
Okay. Quickly, NFC North. You got the Bears, the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings. Jack, who you got?
The repeat, Detroit Lions. They're going to win that division again. I think Detroit got chip on the shoulder. They want to get back. They want to get back to that bowl the way Detroit was last year with the winning and the fans. I mean, I know it felt great for Detroit to finally get back on the winning track. So Detroit's going to win that division, but don't sleep on Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. I think that they're going to give Detroit some go, and they will be fighting for a wild card, the Green Bay Packers.
All right, Midnight Rider.
Detroit. Jameer Gibbs, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Then we
And the other
talk about
boy.
Love. I mean, everybody wants to question Love, but Love is the reason for the season. Love is the answer. Love is the key to life. I had to get that in there, big guy.
Always. And
but I'm gonna give you this. I think the Bears have a way where they can be in the hunt and be intriguing because with the three receivers they have, with the offense they have, and everybody is sleeping on the Bears defense. The Bears have Montez Sweat, and they got a young guy they drafted out of the 5th round, this kid Robinson. He's going to make some noise, and he with them, and then with the fact that you got the Edmonds kid at linebacker, and then the Bears secondary is pretty decent. The Bears can be there. Only thing I don't believe in is I still got some doubts about Caleb in the offense, in a regular offense throughout the year. And that's the only reason I wouldn't take the Bears to be my wild card.
Okay. I got to agree with Detroit. I ain't got no explanation. It's just Detroit Packers will be a wild card. I have no faith in the Vikings, and time will tell about the Bears. Next up, NFC South, you got the Falcons, the Panthers, the Saints, and the Buccaneers.
It's the Falcons for me. I'm gonna say it. You know what? I'm gonna say it this way. I think the Falcons win the division, but if the Falcons get Penix, and they can get some big Penix energy, I think they become an elite team in their situation. But they win the division. I think New Orleans, Spencer Rattler starts probably after week 8. I've already said it, and I'm going to double down on it. I'm going to triple down on it.
Spencer's a scrub.
Spencer's not a scrub.
If
Jeff Driscoll can get in the NFL, Spencer Rattler can challenge for a starting quarterback job. If Nathan Peterman can be a starter, Spencer Rattler. Now, they may not keep him as the starter because they'll draft somebody next year. But Spencer Rattler will play this year. He's better than Derek Carr. I'm gonna tell you that now.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Jack said Falcons win the division. The whole division is weak.
I totally agree. There's no wild card coming from this division.
No.
Jack?
I got Tampa Bay to win the South.
Hey.
I think Baker Mayfield going to continue what he did last season. It's good. That's a great team for Mayfield to be on. And like everybody said, I'm not choosing a number 2 for this division because all the rest of them are last. I do see Atlanta doing some damage, whether it's Cousins or Penix.
They traded Taylor Heineke. How do you trade a legend like that? Don't side eye me.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm taking Tampa Bay in this one as well.
In the words of Doc Holliday, never mind. I'm not even going to start that. I'm not going to start that because that's going to start a whole other thing.
Shucks.
I'm taking Tampa Bay.
But my hypocrisy only goes so far wide.
I understand that.
So I'm not
going to go out west. You got the Cardinals, the Rams, the Niners, and the Seahawks. Kyler Murray coming back for the Cardinals. Rams is still the Rams. 49ers then signed Ayuk to a bigger deal. An extension. And then you got the Seahawks. And the Seahawks have a young Sam Howell that's going to be probably their starter. Jack, who are you taking out of the West?
Uh-oh.
The West, it's going to be between the Rams and the Niners. And I think the Rams going to notch them out and take the West with the Niners getting the wild card.
Midnight Rider?
How much time we got left? All right, we got 5 minutes left. So,
in the counter.
I want bread. I'm sorry.
woman just woke up, bro.
No, I'm messing with y'all. You know, how it is.
Come on, Brad.
So I got the Niners winning the division. I got the Rams being a wild card. I don't even know if we even did all that. Maybe next Sunday we do our division winners, wild cards, and all that stuff.
Yeah, we had to, along with the shoot, we got to pick 5 games.
And we pick 5 games next week.
Yeah, so that's the first week of picks.
So, hey, Jack,
hold on, wait, take that back. Tuesday we got to pick Thursday and Friday's game, and then Thursday we got a short show. That's the shotgun show. So we got to shoot that and get on up out of there.
So, hey, so here's the thing. All right, so my suggestion to the producers of the show, I say Tuesdays we go back to 7:30. Not Tuesdays, Thursdays. We go back to 7:30. We shoot it out. If I can get in, I'll fit in. If I can't, I can't. But you'll have Jack, you have the boss man, and you have yourself. So we can make the Thursday show work off of that.
That's 7:30.
We going to 11 on Sunday?
Yeah.
Because Sunday coming up.
Yeah, next Sunday is 11 because we got to start at 11 because we got to be done by 12 because I got to watch the greatest pregame show on TV, which is Fox.
You don't watch the greatest pregame show.
I do. I watch the NFL on Fox.
No, you don't.
Fox.
You watch.
Terry,
you don't watch
Howie.
the NFL Network.
I watch Terry, Howie, Michael.
Yeah, that's the bullshit one.
Hey, look here.
That's trash.
I almost
trash.
called you. I almost called you out your name.
No, what are we doing here?
Come on, man. We gotta go.
I'm not watching Terry talk about. Terry don't even know where he at.
Lord Jesus. Oh my God.
All right.
We on there. Who
We
went in the
didn't
West?
talk about college football today, and we might have to do a special show tomorrow. And like
we are doing a special show tomorrow.
Because I want to talk college football.
Okay. Who you got winning the West?
West, it's the Niners.
All right.
But I'm gonna tell you now, Seattle's run game is gonna be dangerous this year with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, who the Dallas Cowboys should have picked, and that's why the Dallas Cowboys are gonna suck because they missed out on the back that they should have had. They missed the factor back to end that offense. Now they got to deal with Dalvin Cook
and Ezekiel Elliott.
Zeke.
Ugh.
Grandpa Zeke.
2 yards per carry. Real quick, what y'all eating today?
Yo, I got burgers. No, I don't have burgers, but I have ground beef in the fridge. I'm making burgers.
Okay.
I'm eating burgers all day today.
It's a burger type day.
Burger stuffed with onions. So I'm gonna make the burger patty, stuff the onion in, and then close it up. Boom, cook it.
Jack?
And this time I'll make sure the oven's on before I walk away.
He done said Jack 3 times, and after he says Jack, that means you don't talk.
Jack, I mean,
So yeah, yesterday I got my cookout.
I'm joking.
Got my cookout on yesterday. We did crabs. We had crab dip. We had hush puppy shrimp. Oh, we had all kind of good food over my sister's house yesterday. So today, though, me and my wife are gonna stay in cookout mode. We're gonna have some chicken, some potato salad, some corn on the cob. The corn is killer right now, y'all. If y'all don't know, the local corn is bomb.
Hey,
I
Jack,
can eat. Sir, say what?
Can I ask you a question?
No.
But I'm just asking. Your potato salad,
Yes, sir.
will there be raisins
Raisins?
in your potato salad?
No.
This Jack Carr we talking about.
I'm messing with him.
Bladensburg,
Big guy.
Riverdale, Port Towns Jack Carr. We don't do that on our side of town.
I don't put raisins in there. A little celery, little onions. Nah, no raisins.
Okay.
I do put grapes in my chicken salad, though. With walnuts. So, yeah, that's what we're going to have today. Chicken and some potato salad and some corn on the cob. Yeah.
Did we get to all the comments in the section?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh,
Yes, sir. So we got to go. We up against it. Thank you all for joining us until tomorrow. So join us tomorrow for the fantasy draft special. At I guess we'll get in here about 7:55 or so, and we'll go ahead and get drafted. You know, I'll set it up and we'll go. But until then, that's Gentleman Jack Carr. Down in the corner is the Midnight Rider. Thank you to Matty Ice for joining us. The Boss BJ had to jump. If you haven't already, check out the Saturday Night WrestleManiacs and any other show that you miss. And make sure you like, follow, and subscribe on all social media platforms, please. We're trying to build up a following, not just on Facebook, baby. We're trying to do it all over. So make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Thank you very much. We don't do no overtime, y'all. We are out of here.